Are you guys ready for some League of Legends action?
The intensity in this room right now, thousands of people watching.
Look at this initiation combo. But they're going to go for the counterattack.
Triple kill. Too much damage is being dealt.
Will they have what it takes to take down both?
Everything is gonna go down. This is insane.
One more shot to go. The Nexus falls. Securing themselves into the World Championships.
Undisputed and the first place seed at the championship in Los Angeles.
Welcome, Summoners, to the Season 2 League of Legends North American Regionals. Please welcome your hosts, Rachel Puerco and Adam Maokai.
Woo! What's up, everybody? I'm Adam Maokai.
And I'm Rachel Puerco. Welcome back to the League of Legends North American Regionals, live from PAX Prime in Seattle.
It's all come down to this. There are some serious bragging rights and seeding implications for the Season 2 World Championship on the line. Not to mention the title of Season 2 North American Champion. The pressure is on.
Both of these teams have secured their places in the League of Legends World Championships in LA and their slots in the Season 3 Championship Series. That's a pretty big deal. But before they get ahead of themselves, they need to take care of some business here on this stage. Are you guys ready to get this started?
All right. Then let's pass it over to the guys who'll be breaking down all the action. I am hoping their vocal cords have recovered from yesterday's 76-minute game. Ladies and gentlemen, Rivington Bislin III and David Freak Turley.
Thanks, Adam and Rachel. Guys, we have an amazing matchup. It's everything you've been waiting for. The third place, fourth place match is already done. And we've seen the teams punching their tickets in. Now the first and the second. The championship match about to begin. PAX coming to a close. And the League of Legends Season 2 North American Regionals is about to find their first place winner. Freak, we did it before, but let's take a second to talk about the World Championships for a minute and how these are working. It's going to be made up of the 12 teams, 3 from North America, that Moscow 5, SK Gaming, and Counterlogic EU, 3 from Europe, those 3 from Europe, rather, the 3 from North America being planted now. We already have that one going through, Counterlogic Gaming coming out on top of Curse, as well as Dignitas and TSM to battle it out over the #1 seed for the North American Regionals, respective that first place seat. We have the 2 Korean teams playing in just a few weeks. That's going to be huge for them. China playing it out already. They had World Elite and Invictus Gaming to come out very strong. 2 Southeast Asia teams as well will be traveling to Vietnam in just a week to bring that coverage to you. And we also have Taipei Assassins that just got their ticket yesterday to the LA trip.
Yeah, we've got a lot of the teams already through. I think we're at about 10. No, we're at 9 teams already qualified right now. We've got 3 left to go. We've also got a matter of seeding at hand. Seeding's really, really important. We've got the final match here for the North American Regionals to figure out what is the #1 team in North America, and that means a whole heck of a lot because at the World Playoffs, you've got 4 teams that are making it to the quarterfinals right off the bat. There's a group stage for the other 8. The #1 team from North America skips the group stage. They don't want to get knocked out there because only half those teams are making it out. It's really, really important that they make it. But the World Playoffs happening October 4th to 6th, they're going to determine the final 2 teams there. And those final 2 teams are advancing to the World Finals for a best of 5. And it's a $1 million best of 5. The overall tournament, $2 million at stake. But $1 million going to that winning team, I feel like they want to win that.
Yeah, this is going to be huge. These teams, all just a year's worth of work coming into play here for Season 2 as it starts to come to that close. All of these teams trying their hardest and really looking to other regions of the world to bring new strats out and set this up in their favor. But seriously, guys, there are 0 complaints from us. Dignitas plays half as well as they did yesterday. We're going to be in a true treat for this CLG matchup.
Yeah, we've got arguably the two best teams now in North America. They're going to be putting it all out. It's going to be who wants that first place spot, right? Who wants the first place? You don't quite know just yet. You know, they both want it. They're both confident. They really want to play their best and win that match. And we don't know. It's a best of 3, and it's going to determine who's guaranteed top 8 in the world.
Guys, this is going to be huge. The crowd is ready behind us. You can hear it. Let's see what the teams have to say to each other. Let's toss it over to Adam and Rachel on the stage and introduce our teams.
You can feel the excitement in this room for this hotly anticipated showdown that will determine once and for all who will be crowned champion and who will have to settle for second.
All right, guys, let me get a sense in here, and I'm going to need you to be very, very loud. Who is a fan of Team Dignitas? Okay. All right, that sounds good. And who's in here rooting for TSM? All right, guys, first to the stage. After pulling out a long 2-game semifinals yesterday, can they keep the momentum moving? Your number 3 seed, starting as the red team, it's Dignitas. Coming off a strong series with CLG where he showed us that AP Nidalee still lives, please welcome Crumbs. Next to the stage, claiming that this final match is theirs to win. At mid, it's Skarner!
Setting his team up with strong performances in the jungle. Welcome to the stage. I will dominate! Well all tournament and giving Dignitas a strong chance at victory. Please give it up for the AD carry. I am a cutie pie!
And finally, complimenting his laning partner, this Dignitas support has made an immediate impact on the team. It's Patoy!
Let's hear it one more time for Team Dignitas!
And now, coming to the stage, winners of the last 6 North American circuit events. They've attended and the consensus favorites to take home the top prize. Introducing your number 1 seed, starting as the blue team, it's TSM! All right, first up, the founder of both TSM and his signature aggressive play style. Give it up for Reginald!
Next in, coming in with more than just his trusty pillow, he's sparting the highest KDA of any top lane this tournament. It's Dyrus!
All right, next up, true to his nickname, he commands the flow of the early game. TSM's jungler, the Odd One!
Was rewarded with a big win in the semifinals. Please welcome to the stage Team Solo Mid Support, X Special!
And finally, he's consistently strong play helps TSM seal victories in the late game. And he is proving that yet again at regionals. Give it up for Chaos!
That musical timing. Let's hear it one more time for Team Solo Mid! All right, it is time to get these games underway. I'm going to send it back over to Freak and Rivington.
Thanks, guys. There's a lot of cash and positioning on the line for the World Championships. Let's take a look at what these teams thought was the key to victory in their eyes in this high-stakes final.
Who is going to win TSM versus Dignitas? This is the first time that I think Dignitas believes that they can beat TSM.
We're going to 2-0 them, just like we always have.
I really want to stomp Dig because there's a lot of trash talking with them.
I don't know about 2-0, but we beat them a lot, so I expect us to win.
Both teams are playing within limits of each other's calculations, but we just need to play better than them.
No one can actually engage on Dignitas because all they do is just blow you away every time you get close.
We don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we feel like they are a weaker team.
Just own them.
As long as we play our game, we can beat this team.
I don't want to stand up on the podium and have Dignitas look down on us. I want them far below us, and that's where they belong.
Guys, we'd heard what the teams have to say. Let's see what we have to say, and let's see what everybody else is thinking are the keys to victory for these teams to take it home. First, we're going to be looking at what TSM really has to do to get their path to glory and their keys to victory. Freak, the first one is to completely disrupt Dignitas' strategy.
Yeah, what Dignitas has done so far this tournament and in their gameplay in general is making teams that work for themselves.
Yep.
They don't focus on their opponents very much in Champion Select. They say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a champion composition that works for us. I talked to them after their semifinal win against CLG, and I was like, so when did you decide to go poke comp? Was it after you got Alistar? And we decided to go poke comp yesterday. We actually never played it with Alistar. Yeah, that'll work. Screw it. Let's just go poke comp, right? So they know what they're doing well in advance. So what Team Solo Mid needs to do is either figure out what that composition is partway through and start stealing away those champions, or they need to figure out what that composition is and start picking counter picks right away in the champion pool.
And if they can't disrupt the strategies, the synergy, the cohesion between the team, they're going to have to create some roaming opportunities for themselves.
Yep, Team Solo Mid is a very aggressive team. What they love to do is shove their, especially Reginald actually, is shove those waves out, push out a champion out of lane, and then go roam and gank somewhere else. How Solo Mid gets ahead is by creating these 4-on-1 dives at turrets, at creating these kills at any point in time in the game. They need to make those roams happen. If they're shut out and they're stuck in their lane, as you saw in the semifinal match Game 2 against Curse, if they're stuck in lanes, they can't get that aggression. They need to create those opportunities.
And something that may just seem like, yeah, they need to, but it really factors into this match, Team Solo Mid has to be fearless.
Yep, Team Dignitas is a late game team. You saw them win a 76-minute match. I don't know what else counts for a late game team other than that. They like playing long games and they're very, very good at them. You saw their Game 1 strategy against Counter Logic Gaming was in fact late game oriented with the Kog'Maw in there. But what Team Solo Mid needs to do, because they're great at early aggression, is realize that they need to close out the game. They need to be fearless, dive those turrets, grab those kills, get the objectives. They don't want to wait on their hands. They've got to make sure they play up there and in Dignitas' face.
So, Freak, we've seen what the crowd favorites, the North American favorites, need to do to win. Let's see what Dignitas' keys to victory are to pull off this upset. The first, Dignitas needs to come together and punish any mistakes TSM makes.
Yeah, as Team Solo Mid is so very aggressive, they're going to occasionally make that wrong choice. Now, TSM are very, very strong. Those mistakes are going to be few and far between. But if they ever do make a misstep, Dignitas needs to jump on that right away and get themselves to the late game where they typically excel.
And we see with that average gold per minute as Reginald came out on stage for the statistics, Dignitas needs to focus that. They need to shut down Reginald for key 2.
Reginald is the big playmaker for Team Solo Mid. He's the primary roamer. He gets a lot of early kills. He's the playmaker and makes the aggression for that lineup. If Dignitas, I was going to say curse for some reason, I don't know why. If Dignitas can actually shut him down and keep him from roaming and deny those opportunities, that's going to be a really easy win for them if they can do it.
And last but not least, Dignitas really needs to pull this one out from within themselves. They need to believe they can win. What does this mean, Freak?
Well, they've lost a lot in a row against Solo Mid in real competition. You heard their interviews that, oh, we beat Solo Mid a lot, but the results don't lie. They haven't beat Solo Mid a lot. They haven't won a tournament since IPL 3 when Jat was on the lineup. Come on, Dignitas, it's your time. Solo Mid, they've won the last 6 tournaments. Yeah, see? They understand. You can see the thundersticks up there in the air. Team Solo Mid have won the last 6 major tournaments they've competed in. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, kind of a huge deal, especially with that Dyrus top lane has just been carrying them to victory, the highest KDA in the tournament right now, and still waiting to prove big things and be #1 in North America with that undisputed victory. But we have the keys to victory for both of these teams. Let's dive into our feature matchup. Which lanes are they going to be? It's going to be Reginald versus Skara.
That mid lane is so very, very important. Reginald's a big roamer, thumbsing down Skara. Skara is just, focusing game face, waves to the crowd. Good guy Skara likes to wave into his fans. Reginald, more the aggressive one, wants to shut down his opponents. But, oh, there's the 2-0. Actually, it was 0-2 Skara. You got that backwards, man. That's not very confident of you. But Reginald's the big roamer. He's the big opportunity maker for Team Solo Mid. And Skara's a guy who actually plays very aggressively as well. He sticks his neck out more for minion kills than champion kills. But in both of these cases, they can get caught out of position, and those kills can be turned around in a heartbeat. Both these players, you're going to look for them to be the big playmakers on both sides.
Yeah, Freak. The keys to victory for Dignitas really coming into play here. When they were picked up, I was speaking with their manager earlier, and he said, we wanted to get the indecisiveness out of the team, and that's what's going to help them capitalize on any of those mistakes that TSM is going to make. However, Reginald has also commented, we are going to drink Dignitas' tears after this matchup. So we'll have to see what they can bring out. We've heard what the teams have to say. These great teams are going to be playing in just a few minutes, so we want you to weigh in on the situation as well. Head over to facebook.com/League of Legends and hit us up on Twitter at @NA Regionals to join in on the conversation.
All right, you guys, it's going to be an epic, exciting match. Crowd, I want to hear you before we get in the game. How excited are you for this North American Regional Finals? Well, I'm glad you're excited because we are into Champion Select. Team Solo Mid on the blue team, they've got first pick and ban, and they've actually already banned out that roster. You can see Alistar, Yorick. Yorick's been banned out like so frequently this entire tournament, and they've immediately locked in Shen for themselves. We've talked about him a couple of times this tournament. Oh, wow. Actually, already there's a lot of fast picks coming in there. Sorry, I tripped over my own words. Dignitas, right? They love to come into a game knowing what their strategy is beforehand so that they are very confident in their picks. They can lock them in quickly. And it was interesting when I was listening to these semifinal match between Curse and Solo Mid, they were, picking up to the last second. Curse was like, wait, are we going to pick this against Jace? Are we sure? Yes, okay. And yeah, they locked it in at the last second. But Dignitas much more confident they're going to lock these in right away and really go for some synergies that they've already pre-planned.
This is going to be a pretty nice area of effect composition coming out from Team Solo Mid right off the bat, going for a strategy where they can leave they can leave Shen rather off in the distance, stand united to get back into the fight. It looks like a very aggressive and dominating pick here as PewDiePie actually going back for that Kog'Maw. I was talking to TSM recently, and I believe it was Kaox that was saying, and I said this yesterday, people forgot how to play against him. There's a lot of poke there. You kind of put yourself that few steps into the wrong position, and you're way out of position versus Kog'Maw. So he may be able to take that down quite strong. He also throws the turret damage mastery in there. So we'll see them really going for these objectives and pushing down those lanes.
Yeah, so right now, looking at these teams, what Solo Mid's going for is a very team fight-centric composition. They've also grabbed the Shyvana as a major counter jungler against that Skarner pickup there. Shyvana is very good at running into the jungle, stealing away some of those monsters, and running back out. I actually was talking, with Solo Mid in the hotel 2 days back after, I believe, these semis, though that doesn't really work out on timing, but Ogwin was saying, you know, why would I ever clear my jungle when I can just clear theirs? And that's kind of the strategy he's been going for. Whenever you watch a Solo Mid dominating game, it's because he picks up a counter jungler, he crushes the opposing jungle, and just takes everything away. Dignitas' full lineup is all about late game. Rumble, Ryze, Kog'Maw. Got Lulu in there and Skarner. They've got a couple of early game opportunities as well. Skarner and Ryze is a pretty good gank. Skarner into Rumble is a pretty good gank. Lulu Kog'Maw is not the best lane to gank for. They can kind of let that one kind of sit in the background and farm for a while. PewDiePie very, very mechanically proficient. Will keep up in gold and overall have a great time late game. And that's going to be their goal here, is get to that late game. We'll see if Dignitas can do it. It worked against CLG in game 1. We'll see if it works here as well.
They have great compositions. Dyrus getting Shen. Somebody can say sustained very well in lane. Dyrus has been so slippery these matches. He's been able to get out with numerous times under 100 HP with those ignites on, wasting his opponent's summoner spells, getting out of the fight for his team to come back around. Very interesting here is these guys haven't seen their other champion pools banned out either. That Jace is still in there for Dyrus. Jax is still in there for Crumb. So even if this matchup goes the different way for how the teams are hoping, they still have those huge picks that have been major factors in these upcoming games.
Yeah, there's a lot of options available to these teams. Again, Dignitas coming out saying we want a late game lineup, and that was their goal from minute 1. And as you saw those picks go through, that was what happened here. Now, there's a couple of windows of opportunity here. We looked at TSM versus Curse, and Curse shut down Reginald's Ryze with a Morgana. We're going to see if that's going to be the case here. We're going to be ready to go into game. Crowd, let me hear you. Are you ready for this game 1?
And we do see, we are going to be looking at that team Dignitas first. Guys, they have soundproof headphones on, but they want to hear you one more time. They need your backing. They are obviously coming in against the North American favorites. If you are here for Dignitas to take these 2 games in the #1 position in North America, let me hear you for Dignitas.
But if you're a fan of blue and would rather see Team Solo Mid bring out this game 1, let me hear you cheer for Team Solo Mid.
Now milling about, figuring out what they want to do in the beginning of this matchup. The TSM chants continue on and drown out as they wait for the action to happen. Everybody in full suspense here for the first blood that may happen in just a few seconds. Both teams choosing to kind of do their own thing here, be a little bit somewhat aggressive and show themselves, but they may still kind of get into a fight here. They're kind of backing off left and right. It seems like some of them are going to go towards that top side as they can see. So now, Freak, with this early vision, I don't think they're going to be doing any invading.
Yeah, everyone's sticking around in the middle. They're being pretty passive here overall. TSM was actually sitting on top of a ward for a while. You see the pings coming out there by Dignitas saying they know Solo Mid just warded that Wraith. So everyone's got a lot of information, but they know that information's available to both sides. It ended up being a very defensive start to this game. Both teams are confident. When you go in like this and you actually play a sort of defensive early game, it means you're confident because you think you can just pull it out, 12 minutes later, 15 minutes later, 30 minutes later, 76 minutes later, by just playing your game and doing a really good job. It's actually the teams that have a little bit to worry about that will play a very aggressive early game because they think they need to make opportunities happen. So just by this, you're seeing really both these teams thinking they've got what it takes to pull this one out. I talked with Crumbs backstage right before the match, and they're saying, are you guys ready for this match? He says, oh yeah, we're going to 2-0. I'm like, are you just being, bravado?
Getting caught out here on the bottom, actually has to flash over the wall. Chaos doing very nicely at forcing that flash.
Oh, nice. Yeah, anyway, as Crumbs said, are you trolling me, or do you really, really think it's a 2-0? And this is in private. He's not, doing it for a video or anything. He's like, no, we really think we're going to 2-0 Team Solo Mid.
So if we look at the matchup down bottom, and Kog'Maw usually grabbing that Nunu or Janna support, but Lulu kind of provides the same thing as Janna here. She gives that slow as well that synergizes with Void Ooze as well as the shield. What's the difference between that? A little more aggression from a Lulu?
Yeah, ultimately, I feel like this lane's going to go in Solo Mid's favor. They've got a lot better burst overall, and they've got that heal because of Sona. Now, Patoy can poke a lot, and he loves playing Lulu. He's going to be very good at it, but you can just see TDP taking a lot of damage. Dominate, though, getting jumped on here by the odd one. The binding, not quite going to land. Dominate will get out of his jungle. Except that Lizard buff still available though, so nothing quite happening just yet.
Even as you said, Odd One saying, I'd rather jungle his than mine.
Yeah, and he's going to keep that going. That's really what the Shyvana pick was for. There's a lot of champions in the Odd One's roster. He's going to pick the one that's going to suit his team best. In this case, he says, Shyvana's going to suit my team best. I want to deny this jungle. Let's see what's back in there for that Lizard right now. No one knows about it just yet. Actually, no, there are things going off. See if they can stop him in time, but Reginald's already there. Down the line, putting on the pool, and there is a smite. Odd One takes that one away. Very, very nice job by Team Solo Mid.
I like that a lot by the Odd One. He didn't go for it right away to make sure he wasn't ganked within the jungle. He saw where the lanes were, and then Dominic said, man, he probably got it already, and they were actually right on the other side of the wall from each other. So really just great peace of mind by the Odd One. He's going to go ahead and still continue to clear more jungle.
Yeah, and another really good thing that Solo Mid's done for this early game is give Reginald that early golem buff. Shyvana is a champion who does not need mana, so she doesn't need the mana regeneration that buff provides, which means they can donate it over to that Morgana played by Reginald. Again, we saw Morgana versus Ryze in the semifinals, and it went very well in Morgana's favor. Solo Mid happy to keep that matchup. Dignitas currently feeling confident. Oh my gosh, Cutie Pie, so much pain going off. And again, X-Special is on Sona. He can keep pumping health into his teammate. You're seeing TSM have a very good early game in this lane.
T-Freak, this is what TSM has always done in the past. They invade the jungle, they get a little bit up in gold, 400, 500 gold, but you're denying especially Skarner that red buff. He does have a bit of movement speed, but it synergizes so well as he can keep the attacks with the red buff slow. So now that he's behind, we're going to see the Odd One safely going into lanes, knowing Dominate is going to be behind even if there's a counter gank, and they're going to be much more secure in those ganks.
Yeah, additionally, Skara with not very much mana left on him, he knows that Ryze will not be a very big threat if there is a fight in the jungle. You see the ward there, the Odd One is stealing away Ryze and happily walking away. Doesn't care about I will dominate too much there. But if they do get into a 2-on-2 in that upper jungle, Ryze is not going to be nearly as effective. And actually, here comes the gank around the backside. Crumb's going to get taunted up there by Dyrus, but he's so low on health, he's not going to take it. Or really, the flash comes out, Exhaust is there. First blood goes up, but they're going to fire back. Odd One will pick up the... Actually, Dyrus gets the kill credit with Ignite. But that was I don't know, you got a jungler coming and you got yourself killed before you arrive. That's a little silly from Dyrus.
Freak, you can almost tell what's going through the minds of these players. They know they're going to go down and they try to get that last bit of damage out. It's really just what you need to do. I would say over 50% of the time, the first bloods in these matches is traded back with another kill from that other person in the lane.
Yeah, whether it's the same lane or a lane across the maps we see throughout the European regionals as well. Early aggression happens all over the map sometimes. Already the 1-to-1 score right now. A lot of pressure still on this bottom lane. Solo Mid right now able to rely on Chaos and Special quite successfully. 26 to 44 in minions. Solo Mid really, really a great job with their attack damage carrying support down here.
We see Crumbs meeting the Odd One who camped top now. They're going to keep going for him, putting him down to half HP already before he throws Scrap Shield on. He was waiting on it so he could get the speed to get under his turret. Dyrus now to play a bit more aggressive, and he's already come back to lane with that Doran shield to keep his health just continuously regenerating a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it's a very just defensive opening here for Dyrus. He knows he needs to sustain in this matchup. That Crumbs on Rumble is going to keep gaining power. And here comes the gank on the bottom lane. Reginald jumping in. Cutie Pie flash will not happen. Glenn's not going to matter either. Chaos picks up the kill credit for it. Easy pick up there. Reginald will survive that encounter as well, despite the true damage from a Cathian surprise.
Key to victory number 2, create the roaming game for Team Solo Mid. And they are doing exactly that. Crumbs was able to capitalize on that one mistake top during the gank with the Odd One. He did get first blood, so both of these guys really playing off those keys to victory right in the beginning of the matchup. 7 minutes in, like I said, Team Solo Mid loves that early gold lead. It is 9,000 to 8,000 gold.
Yeah, and they're just going to be happy to have that lead and keep it growing. They're up a very significant margin this early on. And the thing is, they're only up that one champion kill, which means a lot of that gold is, in fact, coming from minions and monsters. I want to quickly look at the jungle comparison real fast. Shyvana, 38 minions, 1,800 gold. Skarner, 29 minions, 1,500 gold. So, yeah, there's an assist there, but overall, it is the Odd One really counter-jungling very, very effectively against I Will Dominate.
Crumbs backing off, overheating. Looks like he's going to come back into lane. Odd One milling about the jungle. Looks like they are going to be able to distribute this one off. They did not get any kind of invade on those jungles. The Odd One actually waited for a late invade and started going for the red. So this is going to be the first move going over to Reginald here. It looks like Skara has got his as well. A little aggression down bottom. Cutie Pie taking shots, and he stays in the fight, trying to throw back on the kill. and he goes down once again, almost giving that kill to Corki right there. Chaos takes a good amount of damage from the Cathian Surprise, but they are not going to be forced out of lane. This is huge.
Top lane Crumb's taking a lot of damage from Dyrus and the Odd One. With Equalizer down, the slow from that will let him run away there. In addition to his upgraded boots, he'll be safe. Solamid have really turned on the aggression here. This is worrisome for Dignitas. Not a good place for them. Dominate shows up to this top lane as well to keep Crumbs alive. Dyrus will not be able to dive this turret. Dominate will soak up his golden experience here. Will give time for Crumbs to get back to base, heal, and get back with a couple of items under his belt.
You see that bottom lane, I think PewDiePie was waiting for that polymorph to go down on Corki, but he was able to just throw that damage in. This is going to deny PewDiePie so much experience in his lane. Corki is level 6 right now, PewDiePie is 5. That's only going to really help him to use his ultimate to poke out PewDiePie, but he'll get that range in just a few minion waves, and he'll be able to kind of thwart back in there. But the fact that he's not getting that CS, the minion kills, is right now 71 to 35.
Yeah, it is a massive snowball there. It's 2 kills to 2 deaths as well. He's just much more powerful, and Chaos is going for an early phage, which tells me he's looking for a Trinity Force for a lot of mid-game damage output, and that really plays into how this game's going to work. Whereas Solamid has a lot of early game advantage, they want to convert that into a really strong mid-game where they can close it out. If Solamid can play their game perfectly, they could close this game in the first 25 minutes. Dignitas, unless they get something miraculous happening, is going to have to hold on and scrape together their mid-game and rely on the later advantages. Scar taking a lot of damage from Reginald, and it's weird, you know, again, he was happy to play Ryze against Morgana in there. He's actually kept up in minions quite well, but it was the roaming game that's put Solamid so far ahead.
Yeah, and you can see just how aggressive Reginald is allowed to play. Like I said before, the Odd One continues to counter the jungle of I will dominate. He has no chance to get back into lane. He does not have the items to even counter gank successfully with his team, because it may turn in the favor of TSM, and they do not want to take those chances. They are doing very well right now, which is continuously playing the strat that they want and dictating this game in their favor.
Yeah, and they're going to have to keep dictating and being fearless and keeping the pressure on. If they let this up, again, Dignitas' lineup is so late game focused that it's going to be scary if the game crests 35 minutes. Solamid is on a bit of a clock right here, and that could be a lot of pressure, especially when you're in a grand final match, when you want to skip the group stage of a $2 million tournament. You know that if you make one misstep, you give your opponent a turret, you give your opponent an ace, you suddenly thrown away all of your early advantage. One good team play could throw this. Here comes the taunt, and they're going to come into Shyvana as well. Trump's going to take a lot of pain. Here comes the Equalizer. He's going to try to run toward the river. He's getting some good movement out of this. Can he flash the wall? No, he doesn't! He fails the flash. He's got to get away from the Odd One. He's going to put down some slows, and Dominate does come by. A nice escape from Crumbs. I love that Equalizer coming down, lines up his escape path. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was huge. One more Flame Breath from Shyvana would have taken him out, but that just the Equalizer slow pulled him just out of range, and Odd One knew it. He didn't even fire it off. So now they are now to back in lane. I will dominate. Pretty full mana. He's going to take this one down. And as PewDiePie returns to lane himself, he's really been able to finish his boots.
Dominate takes a bunch of damage jumping in against Dyrus and the Odd One. He makes it out. He's just been farming minions up at his turret. He's going to recall back as Crumbs has returned here. Solamid not quite going for the rush bait there. They are going to recall out. Even though they might have wanted to jump back on a Crumbs when he returned. But Crumbs going for early magic penetration. Has the Sorcerer shoes, going for a Haunting Guise as well. Once again, relying on the base damages of his abilities. And he's going to be going for an Abyssal Scepter next, which is going to combine well with Ryze and a little bit onto Lulu, Skarner, and Kog'Maw as well. But it really is just to amplify his base damages as much as possible. And as he accelerates throughout that game, it's going to be very nice having so much Magic Pen.
Freak pushing that lead to 2,000 gold. We can see Corki now finishing up that phage almost. He doesn't have the Sheen yet. He's going for the attack speed as well as the phage. He wants to slow that Kog'Maw and keep him in position. Kog'Maw actually quite easy to gank, and once you get that slow on him, if you can dodge the Voidoos, he's very susceptible to going down. We'll see they're kind of focusing on this dragon here. Crumbs also coming down from top to help with this, and it doesn't look like that TSM is going to be able to put anything on it other than a little bit of pressure. And they can test all the way. Here comes the Odd One to come in. I think it may go down before that. Dragon at half health right now. PewDiePie taking a shot from the outside. Skara takes the next one. Is Chaos kind of just throwing his mana away to try and get them off of it. And Dignitas takes a somewhat uncontested dragon.
Very nice job overall. Odd One was almost in range. He could have maybe dragoned over the wall and then relied on an ultimate from Dyrus. Instead, they just have Dyrus push that top lane, that turret down below half health. Golem buff picked up securely on Dignitas' side. I'm surprised Solomon didn't go for a bit more pressure there. They did have everyone available. They did all have full health. Scar, you can see, actually getting low on mana after finishing that Golem camp. TSM could have went for more pushes here. Dominate, actually, I just realized there's an interesting synergy here between I Will Dominate Skarner and Patoy's Lulu. Lulu has a gigantic speed buff available on her kit, and she can just rush Skarner into the enemy team to pull someone back without impale. That's going to be very, very interesting. This mid-game, Dignitas can pick up kills out of nowhere with great initiates from that Skarner.
See, backing off, the Odd One returns to his jungle now, and see how Dominate has caught up in levels to the Odd One. He was a level behind throughout that early game of the jungle, so he's finding ways to get that experience back to himself. He's been top a few times, Crumbs has gone back. These guys are really working together right now, as they have to. TSM has their number in lane per lane. Morgana again going back for the blue buff. We'll see Ryze doing that in just a few seconds. Actually, he has his already, so he did it before he went back. Dominate now backing in lane. And as we look at some of these builds, we're going to see Kog'Maw a little behind in money. Cutie not a terrible build for Kog'Maw, but he's not going to get the damage he wants. He'll be relying on the scaling speed with that Living Artillery. Or Bio Arcane Barrage, rather.
Yeah, he's going to be really relying on that to make him the late-game champion. Having so much attack range and safety is going to be great. And we saw this combination from Curse, actually, which was the Shen-Shyvana combo, which are going to be ultimate dive buddies there, very similar to Nocturne Shen, or even, you know, a Nocturne Shyvana, though you wouldn't really run two junglers so much. But Shyvana basically can dive in there, pop the Dragon's Descent, letting her dive forward as a dragon, dealing a bit of damage, knocking back targets, and Shen can just appear on top of that, giving a nice, gigantic shield, and then jumping in and just showing up beside Shyvana. So Shyvana can initiate, Shen can show up right next to her, and then dive in with his own taunt to lock up targets. And then, of course, that area of effect taunt there, the Shadow Dash from Shen, can also combo with Sona's Crescendo. So if especially, oh my gosh, mid lane, a lot of aggression here. Skara getting dropped very, very low against Reginald. They will trade back and forth, but Reginald will pick up the kill there. They might even move to the top lane, so I'm getting a bit of pressure, but they're overall okay in the top lane.
TSM doing a lot of that, getting out by the skin of their teeth in these fights, and Reginald knew he can aggressive flash there. He wasn't going to need it to get out. Dominate was not shown on the map, but mid goes down as Dominate now follows towards top here. Dyrus dashing out of that one. Very nice job. I believe he just came through that top ward. Dominate going to return through it. And we see a huge push going down on mid as bottom lane, getting a little bit of aggressive here. Cutie forcing the fight through as Chaos fires back once more. Looks like they both come out with somewhat equal health between the support and Cutie but Chaos took a little too much damage there.
Yeah, it's one of the things that happens when one of you buys boots and the other doesn't. Right now, especially such a great early game. And actually, look at the pull coming in, trying to lock up the champion. Threshold getting very, very low. Dominate still chasing. The Shen ultimate comes down. Dominate needs to run backwards. Skara gonna take a dark binding to the face. Odd One still in front. Rachel taking more damage. He's one hit from gone. The taunt coming out from Dyrus. Skara, he will fall down. He's gonna keep dogging this turret here.
Oh man, Special and Chaos very hurt right now, but Patoy as well. They could turn this one around. Patoy goes down, and it's going to be not a double kill, but both duos going down. But Special and Chaos picking one up each for themselves and giving each other an assist. And I really like what Dyrus did there. As Skara got out of the dark binding, he allowed Skara to take a few steps. He didn't want to taunt him out right away. He was like, yeah, you can do it. I'm going to do more damage with a Vorpal, and then we'll lock you up once more for the kill. In perfect range to get out of the turret. 3 going down by Dignitas.
All right, we're going to see a replay of that last battle right there. TSM pulling out so many great moves, and there's the Crescendo locking up Cutie exhaust on as well. Just not able to deal much damage. They actually wait out the exhaust back from Patoy, and then just look at this call. They turn back around. The burst comes out, immediately dropping them both down. The Valkyrie jumping in as well. That was great patience by TSM to wait for a couple of cooldowns and then go back in for that kill. They didn't even combo off of Crescendo necessarily. They didn't even combo off of exhaust necessarily.
Right.
They waited for the actual offensive spells from Dignitas to wear out and then came back for it.
Strength of that power cord taking Cutie down. 0-3-0 in this matchup, and he's still going for that Phantom Dancer first. You have the Trinity Force almost built, that last gold of the recipe required to finish that first core item of Corki's build. He's going to be quite far ahead of Cutie right now. We're 18 minutes into the match. This is when you usually see those Infinity Edge, the Triforces, the Rabadons, that Zhonya's is already built. This is when you see them being finished if you're having a pretty average match. That 15-minute mark is like, whoa, they have that item already? So everybody's kind of throwing this into the average part for TSM. Like I said, they're dictating how they want this game to go. They've got a 6,000 gold lead off of that 1,000. They never lost it. They're pulling on Dyrus. He is straight under the turret, but the turret is about to go down as well. Here comes Chaos, the roam on the AD carry, and he may be caught out of position. Skarner's ultimate is down, and here comes the Lulu wild throw. They focus one down. Corki falls, and they will maybe be able to get Dyrus on this one. Reginald coming out of nowhere to shut down this fight, and they're going to turn this around for a counter. Special might find himself another kill here. He takes out Crumbs, and Skarner will go down. The odd one walks out cleanly.
Amazing, amazing fight by Solo Mid. A nice initiation by Dignitas. Screw the crowd. I'm gonna let them talk. That's what you're hearing right there. That's the sign of how this game is going. It is all TSM all of the time. Initiation for Dignitas was strong. They eventually did pick up the kill onto KX's Corki. TSM, they're so up in gold. Attack damage carry? We don't need an attack damage carry. We'll just win this fight outright. We're going to actually watch the fight again as well to see just how that played out. It was the initial initiation from Dignitas. They pull up Dyrus, but Dyrus is tanky. He's a Shen who is farmed, so KX shows up and they switch focus. They go for the burst. Skarner jumping in. The perma-slow is great. The flash comes out. Lulu ultimate really locking them up. But look at the comeback here. So much damage comes out as Reginald finally gets into range. Just immediately pops the kill onto Dominate. Goes for some more pressure as the odd one comes in as well. And now odd one is too tanky to care about a turret. They get some very easy kills there as they pick up that grab onto Skara as well.
Like we said, creating that roaming game for themselves. So omnipresent on the map right now, and TSM will look to take the second dragon. The first one, they were kind of on their heels, and they kind of took a Polaroid of Dignitas taking this. Now they've got their own, they got that recorded video they can watch later at home, and they are going to be moving out here, just increasing that gold lead. It's still at that 6,000 mark, 30,000 gold to 24,000, the 20-minute mark of this game just hitting, and it's going to be 4-1 in turrets. TSM is objective driven right now.
Yeah, this is the breaker, this is the make or break moment for Solo Mid, and it is going to be objective based. This is the time where they need to actually close this out because they've set up their early game. They've created the roams. They've gotten a lot of kills. KX has his Trinity Force. They've got Zhonya's already on Reginald. This is great for them. They're in the right place. They're where they want to be, but this is where they need to close this out. Dignitas' late game is fearsome right now as they start completing more items. You know, it's time for the Abyssal to get started here on Crumbs. You've got a lot of mana starting to be built here on Skara. His Tear of the Goddess already at plus 344. That's going to keep growing up to a max of 1,000 bonus mana for that item. He's going to keep scaling into that late game, and that's where the Dignitas wants to get. So TSM, they've already killed the outer turrets. There's no dragon to kill right now. Baron is a bit of a risky proposition, but Solo Mid needs to make a couple more right moves here because they don't have too much time, because Dignitas' late game champions will take over even if they are down in gold.
Dignitas milling about, going for the shield here as they move on. TSM going for the 3-man right now. Will they be able to take this one down? A good amount of damage here, but it's more about the tank. They're trying to just work themselves around. They have really good warding. Reginald trying to act as a single wall of defense here. The Dark Bindings will let them know they're there, but Dignitas just happy to clear out some wards right now, and I don't think they're going to have any vision of this whatsoever. It's getting quite close, and TSM looks to be that much farther in the lead in just a few seconds.
Yeah, Dignitas not aware whatsoever. Great job by Solo Mid, showing Reginald, showing Chaos. It's very rare a team takes out Baron without the attack damage carry, but they've done it. Baron respawning at 28.5 minutes, and this is exactly what Team Solo Mid wanted, a great sneak Baron right there. And now's the time for them to turn up the pressure. This is going to be the push they're going to want here. You're going to see them recall back for items. They're going to make one last great buy. They're going to want at least the other two outer turrets right now. PewDiePie getting caught out by Chaos as well. Not even going to try to dodge his abilities. They know that kill is his. 170 gold is all that PewDiePie is worth. Crowd once again cheering for great play from Team Solo Mid.
Chaos is all over this. He saw PewDiePie down, played the time on that, says, I have enough time to get down there. Still saw him in the bush from attacking the minion and just continued to go through it. Let's see. Dyrus moving around, trying to go for that red take, and it looks like he may be able to get it. Here they come around the corner. They will not see the minion until just now. The ward goes down in the bush for the upper hand. A quick dash into Baron Dank keeps him safe, and that's another play that, you know, TSM is working off of here. They don't have a Gragas, but Shen pretty much able to do the same thing with that taunt. He's positioning himself so he does have that easy escape. TSM is always putting themselves in a situation where they at least have that one escape or that one way to reinitiate the fight. We saw it happen top. Dominate came in with that the stinger from Skarner, and they were able to take him down, but Dyrus just walked out of that. You saw there was enough time for Reginald to get top. They threw that fight into their favor, only taking out Kaox, and they did not need him for the rest of the fight. So Dignitas trying to capitalize on those mistakes, but they have to make sure as well they do not overcommit on these fights.
Yeah, well, the one good thing for them is they have a great lineup for sitting back, wave clearing, and trying to farm out champions. If anyone but Dyrus has caught up, well, anyone but Dyrus and the odd one, I suppose, is caught up in front, and Reginald doesn't land that black shield, the immediate pull in from Skarner is going to be great here. There's not a lot of great, like, save me abilities here on solo mid. They've got the Shen ultimate, and that's nice, and if Xpecial can land an area of effect stun from that crescendo on Sona, they're going to be okay, but they don't have this sort of triple support comp that Dignitas had back at IPL 4. You know, it's going to be, it is absolutely possible here for Dignitas to pick up individual kills very, very rapidly. If they can get just the right positioning, they're going to be okay here. Solo mid, they've got the Baron buff, they've got the Shen split pushing the right-hand side lane. The other four are going to happily push up towards the top. Dignitas can't even dive in right now. If they initiate, they'll just get that standing edit from Shen and be safe here. The poke, very good from Solo mid as well. Reginald landing these dark bindings, putting the Tormented Soil underneath, and dealing a lot of harassment overall to this Dignitas lineup. You can still see Dyrus at the bottom half, just shoving down this turret. He will happily just deal more and more damage. It's so close to gone. Dyrus going to pick up another turret kill here. That's 5 for Solo mid.
Solo mid in full control and completely in the driver's seat right now. They are not second-guessing or second-stepping anything they're doing. Every fight has been a complete initiation, and they continue to turn these ones around in their favor if it doesn't even turn out to be in their favor on the initiation. Dominate here, tries to go for the ultimate, the black shield thwarts him away. They all break the shackle, and it may be a great turnaround here. This is the domination cap. This is where they need to capitalize. Dignitas coming in, but Shyvana, the odd one up in front, trying to keep the damage to himself. Equalizer goes down completely over the team. Kaox will fall. There goes a lot of damage for Team Solo mid as they begin to drop, and Dignitas has capitalized on the perfect mistake.
And that was absolutely perfect from Dignitas. Solo mid tried to force a 5-on-4 because Crumbs was stuck at the bottom. The Shen ultimate came from Dyrus, a great initiation attempt overall, but they took so long between fights. All of Dignitas had flashes up. They used 3 flashes. Everyone broke the Morgana Soul Shackle, so no one was locked up there. And TSM was so far into Dignitas' base, a single Ryze, Root Prison, that one ultimate from Skarner, that Impale, bringing Shyvana back in. And the position was so good that when Crumbs finally showed up, the equalizer was perfect. They locked everyone up from solo mid. They couldn't escape from the base. The turret just going to work the entire time. I didn't even see what happened to KX. I was watching that front line just melt, but Dignitas pulling up a 3-1 kill advantage there. That's exactly what they needed to turn this game around.
I'm the Cutie Pie just trying to farm himself up right now in that bottom lane. He is 184 minions to 202 on Chaos. Chaos very strong right now with that second core item on him. He has that Bloodthirster. Another dragon now, the second one, third one of the game. As I said, second one going to TSM. Dignitas was able to get the first, but we've seen and played before and heard from TSM, those really early objectives sometimes aren't worth losing people on your team. If you're going to lose Dragon, try to go for it, then you're probably going to lose the turret as well. They let that first Dragon go, and it seems to be working in their favor.
Yeah, at this point in the game, it's very close to the late game status where if you get a couple of champion kills, you can convert it into anything. You don't want to give up champion kills for something like a dragon, even something like a Baron sometimes, because there's going to be an immediate counterattack and the other team will get something even more valuable. A dragon in terms of gold and experience is worth 2 champion kills, and that's really, really powerful. You get 1,000 gold for your team. You've seen solo mid now, as Rick just said, pick up 2 of them, and that's built some of the gold that they have here. But if you make if you take big risks and you get caught out for them just to earn some easy gold, the gold's going to get reversed as they pick up a kill, and they're going to start picking up turrets, extra minions, buffs, things like that. You've got to be really careful on both these signs here. You saw a reckless initiation from Team Solo Mid. Again, Dignitas wants to capitalize on initiation mistakes. That was one of them. TSM needs to keep the pressure on, though. They need to fight correctly.
Now, we've seen what Team Solo Mid has done for a lost lane before. Sometimes they just hang it out to dry. When especially KX were having a bad game the other time, they focused mid and top. Dignitas really didn't go to that kind of strategy for their positioning, and they're really just trying to go all over together. It's not working out for them. Their initiations haven't been the strongest. Cutie Pie isn't really able to output the damage Corki is, so in the fight, their positioning is going to have to be perfect. They're going to, as we have said before, get fights in the jungle with Rumble in those close quarters, the positionings for his harpoons to land and the equalizer to completely smother the opponent. So if Dignitas can't initiate correctly in these next few fights, TSM is just going to continue to stay in the driver's seat and possibly grab this next Baron uncontested once again.
Yeah, Patoy completely out of position. Top Gold tries to escape here, but Kayak is going to be too powerful here. 1 hit to go. They will pick that up. Nice grab there. And that was an Oracle's down as well for Patoy. This is exactly not what Dignitas wanted. They wanted to force TSM to fight them in their base on top of turrets where their crowd control and lockup could kind of let the turret fight for them and make it a full 5-on-5, because right now solo mid so up in gold, you can consider it a 5-on-4 or a 6-on-5. They've just got so much more power individually that they've basically got more champions there. They're waiting around for Dragon right now. There's actually the push there. Dominate taking a lot of damage, but here comes Skara. There's the pull, but they've got Shen, and they are running away. Dark Bunny will not quite land as they will escape. They've traded ultimates back right now. Horn is alive. We'll see what happens here. Baron still getting chunked down.
Greek, I don't think I've really ever seen a team do this to another team before. They really can't even leave half the side of their jungle. TSM is just way too dominant right now, and they have the mobility to get to each other in absolute seconds. Corki right over the wall. Now again with Dyrus. PewDiePie forced to run with his team. They're now all going top lane. This is what TSM wants, to be able to go around the outside of the base here. 30 minutes into the game, they were not letting Dignitas even on their half of the map. They've only lost 1 turret.
Yeah, and this is a scary situation here. TSM playing it right. They pushed in and got the first turret now. They're going in for the inhibitor, and now they can fight in the base. PewDiePie gets caught out. Exhaust is on. He's going to cleanse away. Now, is he going to be safe enough to fight off in the middle? Dominate taken. Actually, Crescendo fully whipped right here. Is there going to be enough damage here? Dyrus, of course, has a Guardian Angel. Dominate's going to fall down. Not tanky enough. Auto will drop. PewDiePie going to get caught out, though. Another exhaust made that one happen. He's going to try to go for the explosion here. Not going to be enough. Chaos with the double kill there. Looks like it's still a 4-on-3 inside of Dignitas' base. Solo mid, they're going to back out for now, but they've got a lot of advantages in a row. Turret, inhibitor, Baron, Dragon, and extra kills.
Wow, a very fast Zeke's Herald coming out. Onyx special as we have the odd one going for the Aegis. So they're going to have quite a bit of auras working here, something we've seen a lot in the Korean gameplay where everybody is helping each other out and nobody's trying to really just build up those items for themselves. Very great job here. Shyvana grabbing up the Phage to keep himself within range and continuously do damage, as well as to help heal anybody off of Chaos if he gets in a sticky situation. They have right now so much of an advantage to take people off of their AD carry, take people off of the important people that matter, that these fights are just going to go so heavily in their favor. It may be over quite soon for Dignitas, and they're going to have to rethink what happened for this second game.
Yeah, I think right now Dignitas needs to channel their inner counter-logic gaming Europe. They need to channel their inner, hold the game on for 30 minutes when it looks hopeless, because they need some more gold to hold on to this game. I mean, PewDiePie needs to finish Infinity Edge. He's very close to that. He's 120 gold away from completing that item. Skara just needs to keep scaling. He's finally got a frozen heart for himself. He's going to try to finish the Banshee's Veil soon. He's about 400 gold short of even making that combine happen. They need like 3 minutes here, not even 3 minutes, maybe like 2 minutes. Dignitas needs to wait and try to get enough gold. They can complete some items before TSM goes for a killing push right here. If they can get those combines, that's going to be good, and they can be close to equal footing here. We're seeing a couple of the members of Team Solo Mid have switched over to defensive items. Corki's got a Quicksilver Sash. You've got wards being picked up here by Reginald, so some of their gold bonus is being spent on things that don't translate into damage right away, and that's a good chance for Dignitas to catch up some kills, because they're going to be a little bit closer in power here. Solo Mid, they're knocking on the front door at this right-hand side lane.
Freak, it's not like Dignitas is even playing bad. It's just that TSM strat of getting ahead in gold early and pushing I will dominate out. That red buff being taken and constant race being taken has led to this. That much early domination can really help you in the game and get a definitive early to late game. They're pushing in split lanes now, keeping Rumble up top. That's a lot of the area effect damage they need in this fight right now. Reginald waiting off in the wings for the initiation so he can flash in with that Soul Shackles, but they're going to go ahead, grab the inhibitor without taking too much damage, and they're not even poking that much either. It's just that Dignitas has not found a way to defend this strategy or this team composition.
Yeah, right now a lot of pressure. The third inhibitor about to go down. This looks very similar to last night, where the 3 inhibitors were down and it made an eventual win happen. Solo Mid so far up in gold, they're looking to close this one out. These turrets are all available, the minion waves are here, and this positioning is so good for Solo Mid as well. They're spread out. not keen to pick them off. They jump in on Dyrus. They will pull him into this turret. Can they do enough damage? He's got a Guardian Angel. The shield's going to be too good. Morgana jumps in. Reginald popping Zonia's. The dance coming out from Sona as well. They all get locked up, but they're healing on top of their turret right now. But now the Nexus is available. It's down to half health in TSM. They're going to want to keep pushing in. No, they're actually backing out. The Nexus alive. Scar getting pushed down. They're going to reinitiate here, picking up kill after kill. Gosh, Kog'Maw actually picked up 2. Dignitas, they haven't even died yet. They're still going for this one. They're pushing down on Reginald now. One's off on the side. I'm expecting someone to show up out of nowhere, but no, it's going to be Reginald falling, and somehow Dignitas have come out with a 4-1 kill lead, but their Nexus has nothing next to it anymore.
That was absolutely amazing. TSM was going completely for the win there. We could see that Oddone was just contemplating, I can punch this with my dragon hand, but I'm not going to do much damage. I'm still in the wrong form. He really just couldn't get himself in and out fast enough. His burnout was down and he didn't like his positioning. But you could see how much focus they had on the Nexus now at 75% health and ticking slowly back to full.
Wow, so all 11 turrets are gone. We're going to see just how they managed to get those last 3 turret kills. Now Dignitas managed to push them back. We've got the replay of that last fight right here. Dignitas is going to be stuck in their base for some time. We see it open up. The initial pull on the Dyrus, though, he escapes beautifully. The pressure is on everywhere, but watch PewDiePie. He refuses to go down. He dodges all the crowd control, goes into his fountain, takes some burst, but he's still healing, and he's allowed to attack from range. You see Sona fall down. Good kill by Rumble. PewDiePie off on the right-hand side. The green elixir there as well. Able to keep poking out from afar. Scar dies, but it doesn't matter. Chaos just a little bit too far up. Gets jumped on. PewDiePie again, healing inside of his fountain. A double kill as he picks up the return kill onto Shen. And then at that point, there's not enough members alive, and they pick everything else down.
The odd one grabbing Dragon by himself. That's going to be more gold for TSM. Not even necessary for them right now, but they want to make sure they deny it from Dignitas. The gold is so much in their favor that they really have almost everything they need right now. The Rabadons, Zonia's, Void Staff onto Reginald. He's more than happy to jump into a fight and initiate here. Soul Shackle's already back up from that last fight. They also have Crescendo, the area of effect stun. You make your team dance for an entire 2 seconds. That is not going to be great for them. Along with that, you have the Dark Fight who can come out next as well, and Shen just calling your entire team. They grab up on Dyrus. He does not have the Guardian Angel up, but he gets Black Steel. The Wild Growth goes on to dominate. Will he have what it takes to help his team and peel them off with the 80 carries? Reginald and everyone taking actually a little too much damage. PewDiePie left alone, and with the Infinity Edge now in his hands, is able to turn around and tear back through the TSM lineup. 2 have fallen, and Dignitas stands strong with 5 in their own base.
And they've got a farmed Kog'Maw. He was able to pick down Shen very, very fast. He ran away pretty quickly, but the Equalizer really hurt TSM to reinitiate. Reginald went in for the ultimate Zonias, but everyone had their flashes up once more. You see them all freshly on cooldown. Everyone from Dignitas, once again, they broke Soul Shackle. And that's how these fights are, that's what these fights are going to hinge on. Is Soul Shackle up? Is it going to actually stun anyone? When Dignitas is able to escape from those situations, when Soul Shackle hits nothing and stuns no one, that's when Dignitas can win. PewDiePie attacking from such a long range. When he's safe back there, he's got shields, he's got stuns, he's got slows from everyone else. He can just crush these targets. Even a Guardian Angel ran to its own in Shen. He just deals all of the damages right now. Skara, a very big damage threat as well. But, you know, they're still stuck in their base and the inhibitor's dead. Look at Team Solo Mid.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. As we said before, you have this much control over the map, your minions are going to start acting like wards, and as they push into the base, you're going to figure out where the enemy team is. Right now, with the amount of wards in the jungle aggressively placed from red all the way over, they're going to know anyways if they were coming for that Baron. The third uncontested to go to Team Solo Mid at 37 minutes.
And they're going to be happy to just keep farming those large objectives. The difficulty for Team Solo Mid in every one of these last few battles has been it's difficult to run into the Dignitas stage. It's difficult to fight in those close quarters where they're close to their fountain, where they can re-heal, where they can get back into the fight or take some initial burst. The fight on the Nexus would have been theirs if not for the fountain there to keep healing up PewDiePie and heal up everyone else on that lineup. That was the MVP of that battle, was a 10% of your max health every second healing buff when you're in that back corner. But TSM, they know they have map control, they know the open field is all theirs. Every Dragon, every Baron, all but one turret in TSM's favor, but can they close it out inside of Dignitas' base? TSM's got Baron buff, this is their chance.
You know, you got to give huge credit to PewDiePie coming back on top with CS over Chaos and almost matching his items as well after being 0-3 and 0, now 4-5 and 4, and it looks like Dominate wanted to get that initiation there. He's got to be careful. He has used that pull quite early. Looks like he's going for Impale once more, back and forth. Dominate going out in the front of the fight is going to warn TSM instantly. You can see the black shield always on. The equalizer goes down. Morgana does not have the black shield to help anymore as it was on to Corki, but the initiation won't happen either. They are just getting pop shots on this inhibitor. Really playing the poke game, but not on the champions, just on the objectives.
Yeah, the Guardian Angel back up here for Dyrus. Ultimate down from This is a very good situation here. Minions are pushing the inhibitors back down. The sixth man for Team Solo Mid is here. These super minions are flooding in. They've pulled in Shen once more, but he's got Guardian Angel. He's popped Randuin. He might be worth a revive, but who cares? Dominate taking so much damage. Blue ult is on. Shyvana gonna run through as well. There's one kill being jumped in. There's a 2-kill happening right there. Chaos still pushing in on everything. Reginald will pop his Zhonya's Cutie Pie so very low. He's going to fall down as well. This is going to be Team Solo Mid pulling out Game 1 in the grand final. And they are one game away from being the undisputed best team in North America.
Absolutely amazing match by Team Solo Mid. They didn't even bring out the strat that they didn't even bring out anything innovative. They were running, they made that first initial jungle control. The odd one stayed in Dominate's jungle. Dominate didn't go back to his red buff. He didn't even check to see if it was back up. He considered it was down when he may have found the odd one doing it at the same time. They were just right above each other. A little bit of game of cat and mouse, but nobody ever checked around the corner. That was huge. That set them back only 400 gold in the beginning. But for Dominate, that meant no red buff. That meant no Skarner in lane for another few levels, and that let the odd one just completely wreak havoc in lanes and completely wreak havoc in that top side of his jungle. The objectives after the first dragon to Dignitas just went to Team Solo Mid.
Yeah, great job by the team overall. We're going to watch that last battle one more time and find out the real MVP of that last fight as we open up. See the Dark Vines come out. None of those pokes landed. They do pull up Shen, but Ryze is just too tanky. He pops Randuin, runs back, gets enough shield. No worries at all. Just refuses to take enough damage. With the Ignite, a last heal from Sona, he still was not going to fall. And just so much damage comes out from Chaos there. He was left untouched because there was so much focus put onto Shen. And it was GD5 just dropping very easily as his whole front line was gone by that point. And it didn't matter at that point. He's just outnumbered by then. Team Solo Mid with the great kill on the Nexus with a giant wave of minions to watch as the pretty red and purple explosion shows up.
Yes, indeed. That's exactly what they wanted. It took them twice to go towards the Nexus, so Dignitas kind of holding very strong there. Didn't seem like they really had the composition that they wanted for that game. Yes, Scar is quite good on that Ryze. With Rumble for Crumbs is a huge play, but I don't know if we're going to see that matchup again. Yes, they were thrown off in the beginning and they weren't able to scale as well as they wanted to into late game with Dominate, or I Will Dominate, but also some of the pulls from that Skarner onto the fully Guardian Angel Shen over and over again. Dyrus put himself out there, but as he was waiting for it, he was saying, guys, I'm going to try to get myself pulled here. Let's do this. I'll throw myself in the fire. You guys are going to come in with extinguishers, and we're going to throw this one down. And that's exactly what Reginald did. We saw that they waited. He flashed in with the Soul Shackles, blew that. They stopped, poked that inhibitor down, and went towards mid. The flashes are down. Soul Shackles, a very much lower cooldown. They did the same thing again and were able to break up the fight the way they wanted without flash on Dignitas' side.
Yeah, Team Solo Mid the entire time playing beautifully. Those last few team fights finally worked for them, but I want to hand it to their early game. That's what really got them the advantage there in that battle. If I'm Dignitas, I want to ban out early things here. You want to get rid of things like Shyvana, make sure Avon doesn't get Nunu, but you want to drop out that counter jungling presence and the early pressure there that TSM had. Maybe you put your chances out with Morgana, maybe you put the chances in with Shen, things like that. But I think right now, Dignitas needs to look at the odd one, get rid of his options, or maybe they find an entirely new strategy where they're not worried about early pressure.
Guys, game 2 to come in just a few seconds. Do we see lane swaps, meta swaps, changes that we've never seen before, people playing in different positions? Stay tuned. The grand finals, game 2, is coming up right after this.